You tried to sell everybody that soap, Dave. Welcome to the Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Strings of Fate Season 3, Episode 8, Duty or Damnation. My nameplate will continue to say Nero throughout the season because I'm told I will return at some point as Nero, probably to kill a bunch of things. However, I'm no longer playing Nero, probably, question mark, all the time, question mark. Except that James told me I was playing Nero today, so I guess I'm not playing my new character ever. He just...
I can confirm you are not playing Nero today.
Get fucked, Nero.
Yeah.
I know what you mean by that, James.
Technically
correct. All right. Let's start with a person who is now proudly a member of the description section, Big Spoon.
I'm finally officially part of the show. Thanks, guys.
Has your Twitter following got up substantially now all of a sudden?
Let me check.
You know what the real kicker here is, Big Spoon? You know how easy it would be for Arthur to just apply a new description to all of his previous videos that you're in?
Yeah.
Simple as fuck, but he's not doing it.
I can't do that because half of the videos contained different cast members, and I included
You
those
know
cast members.
You know exactly when he appears, so you just select all the videos.
I don't remember what
and
episode he appeared in. You're talking about a lot of work for me. For little to no benefit.
Yeah, plus if he does that, then he can't meme about it.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the meme this week is that it's the first week since I've started streaming where I've lost subscribers on YouTube. This is what we should be talking about. It's the end.
It's all those farm videos, man.
It's my failure arc has begun. It's time. I'm washed up.
You got to go back to doing like
Fire Emblem? You think the Fire Emblem is what's stabilizing my channel, and the farming is forcing people away?
No. You got to do 5 shows of D&D a week in order to go back to your number growth.
Fuck. No, thank you.
Look, you changed your content, and the audience hates it, man. No. Hey, this is the problem with YouTube. Okay. You gotta change. Imagine being a League of Legends streamer and trying to like swap, and then like
you just say you're a variety streamer now. I mean, yeah, you're gonna lose a bunch of hardcore League of Legendsers.
It's like all those people that did speed running for one particular game, then they fucking mastered it, and they're like, all right, time to do something else. They move on to something else. The audience drops by like 60%, and it's just like, okay,
yeah, because like
can't win
because they went there for that one specific type of content.
Yeah, it's gonna happen to me when I stop doing BattleTech.
Yeah,
yeah. My fucking channel is gonna die.
Talk about this being the beginning of the end. Once your BattleTech shows are over, it's a steep
Timberborn drought level. Just everything dies overnight.
Because everything is wilting.
Just a tiny pool of D&D content is left.
Yeah, like right now, if we look out the window of the plane, the engine is smoking, right? So
wait, I'm the engine.
No, you're the pilot.
Oh. Wait, the engine is my channel then. Stop saying. I mean, look, obviously the engine is smoking because people who watch my show are so smoking hot. Thank you for saying that, Spoon. I'm glad you noticed. I would do anything to get those YouTube viewership numbers up.
Yeah.
Is this a Dollar Shave Club advert or something? What the fuck?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. Have you heard about Skillshare? No? NordVPN?
This is the group for Dollar Shave Club, though, my friend.
We don't shave.
We don't. It's absurd.
I shaved last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So I a little bit here and there. Let's see. I spent a bunch more money on BattleTech models, so that's always fun because mini collecting is a problem, but it's a fun problem to have. Let's see what else happened.
If you ever want to make money, like just a return on all of that stuff that you buy, you should do the Homer Simpson thing where he like tries to build a a barbecue in his backyard and he makes art instead, and then you just put that into a museum and sell it for a couple million, right?
There
Like,
you go. There you
this
go.
is just like a giant mold of like all your toy figurines in one ball. You know?
So I actually had that in my life. So when I was a child, probably about 6, 8 years old, we had a fire in our house that was triggered by just like it was a faulty electrical socket, and fire brigade came and put it out. But when we were taking all the rubbish out of the burnout room, one of the things was like a record player, but like the old record players that had like dual cassette as well. And what had happened with this, it had not caught fire, but in the heat, it had started to melt. So literally like the plastic housing and the top of the record player, that. So you could clearly see what it still was, but it was all sort of like, flowing like wet plastic. And we actually took that melted record player and we put it into like a modern art exhibit. Like we glued some empty beer cans to it and said it's like after the party, and we actually won a few $100 for it as well. So
nice. There you go.
You got anything else, Spoon?
No, my week has been fairly uneventful so far.
All right, Fondo.
Not much with my week, to be honest. Paint situation's getting worse. I'll say that. That's
paint situation.
Yeah. We've I've pretty much run out of all stuff for outside, and so that it's stressful time there, but that doesn't matter here.
Don't you work at a paint store?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's
That's
saying.
how dire it is.
That's what he's saying. Is the paint store doesn't have any supplies. Not that his personal modeling.
Dennis have the worst teeth, Spoon. It's always the joke. If you do it, you don't do it well for yourself.
What's the saying? Never trust a skinny chef, right? Like, don't eat their own food.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I hadn't really done much. Cotton opened back up her play-by post, or is getting ready to. Though I think she's only letting like certain people in. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing. Apparently anybody can join. She just yelled at me.
You want to just let Cotton come on and explain it to us, or?
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, she's busy doing art, so I'm letting her do that. It's been a while. Working on Ranch Simulator slowly. Taking care of baby.
You know, every time I talk to you, Pondo, like, your life seems completely unaffected by the fact that you had a child, and that gives me hope. You know, like, that my life will continue to be the same.
Get lulled into a false sense of confidence, and then in a month, Pondo's, like, his hair's going to be falling out, he's going to have wrinkles, and he's, run, Dave, run!
They give you that false sense of security for the first few months when all they do is sleep.
Yeah.
And not move.
Yeah.
And and it's once they, it's once you can't put them somewhere and then come back an hour later and they're still there. When that longer works, that's when real problems start.
Yeah. So it's I'm how to put it? I don't know how to put it. Like blissfully ignorant at the moment.
Yeah, it's the eye of the storm. You're in the eye of the storm.
Yeah. So don't take my situation as far as for hope. All right.
The part that I'm worried about the most is like, never sleeping, and you seem okay with that so far.
I just have a good poker face.
Okay, yeah,
it's true. Cotton has said that. Cotton also mentioned that Pondo's been swearing a lot more lately, or something like that. I think. I was like, I've never heard Pondo swear, and Cotton was like, oh yeah, he swears all the time.
When you got a child, it's a good time to start.
I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Pondo's developing that potty mouth just in time to imprint on his kid.
Caca.
I'm getting the swears out of the way first. That way, when she starts saying words, she's not going to repeat me later, even though I'm going to say it regardless.
See, we made a critical decision this week to stop trying to shelter our kids from hearing foul language. Because I let them watch Free Guy this week. And like I looked up previously, and it has like 9 shits and 2 fucks and etc. etc. And I said to my wife, like, but it's but they'll enjoy the movie. She's like, look, they're going to hear it anyway. So it's no longer about what they hear; it's about what they say. So I'm not going to get upset when they hear that on YouTube, or whatever. I'm just going to get upset when they say that to each other.
You could just take some of the mystique away from using those words, right? It's like when you're a kid and you're like, oh man, alcohol is so cool. I can't wait to grow up and have a beer one day. Everyone who has beers looks like they're having such fun. And then I was 21 and I was like, damn, this tastes like shit. Who would want to fucking willingly drink this? No, I'm lying on the floor and I feel too hot. Got anything else, Bondo?
I have been trying to get back into 3D printing again. Just mainly.
Oh yeah, I sent you and James the interview people got back to me, and I emailed the two of you, and you didn't send it.
I'm working on that now. I got it split up so that way I can actually.
Oh, did they actually send something?
Did they send this? Wasn't there an STL file attachment? I think.
Was there?
Yeah.
Wow, I missed that. All right, listen, we need to sit down and actually like do something. I was waiting for the two of you to get back to me.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, they sent an STL file and I got it split up so that way I can actually print it decently.
Okay, all right.
For some reason they put it on a base.
Listen, we really need to get back to these people. Yes, they did take an age of Middle Earth to get back to us, but we shouldn't leave them hanging.
Yeah. Well. So that's actually going to be one of the first things I'm printing out recently. The other stuff is going to be just like bits as customization and whatnot.
Okay,
like heads.
Spoon and your Natty Light love. Look, there's nothing wrong with liking Natty Light.
It's not Natty Night Love. That's just what I could buy when I was in school.
What is Natty Light? I don't. Oh, it's a beer, is it?
It's the cheapest beer
really
you can get in America.
Beer.
That's still a brand.
Okay.
Is it Pabst Blue Ribbon style, or is it a bit worse than that?
Yeah, a bit worse than that. Worse than that.
Okay, all right.
So, in West Virginia University is considered one of the biggest party schools in America. And
it was for like several years in a row. What?
Yeah, so consistently for like the last 30 years, the top selling alcohol in West Virginia is a half keg of vodka that is brewed in Morgantown. And basically what happens is they take it off of the assembly line and hand it directly to college students because it's never in stock. They basically just show up and they're like, oh man, you get a warehouse of lads? Give me that shit. Okay, we brought a dump truck. Just load it in the back, okay, bros? I don't know why I went Valley Girl, but...
The cornerstone of underage drinking in Australia is definitely a thing called Passion Pop, which is basically like a sparkling...
Oh, leg splitters.
For like $3 a bottle.
Yeah, and it's got a good taste to it. I got through college on Parrot Bay, which was like a rum beer that had a good flavor to it, like coconut. Yeah, that's right. I also like pumpkin spice. Wow, it took me forever to remember what that was called.
Arthur Perkins.
I know.
Is a white woman.
I just like basic things, and I'm okay with enjoying the things that I like, Dave.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with the basics.
What was that movie with Martin Lawrence in it, where he was a white FBI agent girl? He's a black man. Oh fuck, what's that called?
I think you're talking about white
girls.
White chicks?
Or white chicks.
White chicks. Is it Martin Lawrence?
The Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Oh no, Martin Lawrence was in the one where he was the black woman. Okay, yep. Sorry, I'm getting my early 2000 movies mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Wayne brothers. Yes, that's right. Yes.
I don't know what we're talking about at this point.
Terrible movies.
Okay. You know, speaking of...
White Chicks was pretty good.
Let's just go to Dave.
All right.
Hi, I'm Dave. I had a very interesting week. So first, I basically we got a new marketing department at work, and that's very interesting to come in. Like, I was introduced to them as the veteran of the company, and that was kind of shocking because, I guess the definition of a veteran is doing enough tours, right? So I guess that's true about me, but it kind of shocked me because I don't think of myself as like that, but I'm getting into like my 16th year of doing this shit. So like, I guess that makes sense. It's the only job I've ever done. So, I mean, that's true. And then I tried to release a video game all week, like the entire week. I tried to release this game and I just didn't get anywhere with it because of, how many operating systems they have on Android phones. And I was trying to release like a build that would work on every single one. Absolute fucking nightmare. Really, it really was. And so on Friday, I had to drive across Poland so that I could, because the thing about being a foreigner in a country, they make it incredibly difficult to do even the most basic shit. So in order for me to get this form, a particular form, to do a thing, I first have to be registered in a domicile that I live in, and I've been living in this place that I've been living in now for going on 5 years. And the problem is that the place that I'm in, like the guy knows us so well now that he's just like, we don't need a contract anymore. And in order to get a contract, and because we're building a house and we're getting to move to it. So in order for me to get this first form, I needed to then have a registered place of living, which then means that I had to register with this dude. And if we did that, then we would be having to like contractually obligated to stay in this place for longer than we wanted. So instead we had to get the mother-in-law to put me on her place, which meant I had to drive across Poland to her house, go there in person, say, yes, this is me. And then they go, okay, great. And then they give me just a single piece of paper that I can then use to get this other form. It's absolute fucking nightmare. Like, I really don't recommend trying to live in a country where they don't want you there. And during that time, when I was on the road, I finally got to release this game. And, my laptop's really good, but like there's something comfortable about like doing the most important work on a place that you do all of your most important work on. And then like when you have to do it somewhere else, you always get like, am I doing everything correctly? And I ended up double checking, triple checking everything. But the most important thing is we released the game. We've got demos out for it everywhere. We've got, an alpha for it released on itch, and it's sitting on the front page of itch, doing really well. It's top selling game right now. Like every single time that we release a game, we get more and more people, and this game has broken all the previous records that we had. We've had it released for just over a single day now, and we basically like tripled the last game that we had, which did really, really well. So we're on the front page of Newgrounds as well with the demo. It's just going really well, honestly. So I'm super excited to see.
What I'm hearing, Dave, is whenever we if we ever end up meeting in real life, drinks are on you.
I guess. I mean, they're not that expensive here in Poland, so why not?
Is this the game that you're doing for your friend who was also an artist?
Yes, this is that game. And so far, everyone really likes it. Like the reviews have been really positive. The problem is it's a game about a murderer, right? And you kind of like, you don't play a nice guy in the game, right? Like the main protagonist is not a nice guy. And that was very obvious from the very beginning that the game starts. But a lot of people have problems with it. A lot of people are just like, yeah, I don't like being a bad guy, so I'm going to review this game poorly. And it's like, man, I didn't realize people would have like that much of a problem with fiction. You know what I mean? Like the fact that someone would be like, I wanted to be a good guy, therefore bad game, right? That doesn't make sense to me, because like I always sort of thought you could just like see the fiction for what it is and just review the fiction as that. But that doesn't seem to be the case, right? So it's like very strange. It's very, very strange feeling.
Yeah. And I feel like your viewpoint is that of an experienced like tabletop gamer, like role playing gamer, like I find that a lot of people have that same like, oh well, I am the main character. Like it doesn't matter.
Self-insert,
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't matter to a lot of people that the main character has their own personality and stuff, and they go, no, the main character is me.
I mean, it doesn't help that you can't see the main character. You sort of always see it through his perspective for the most part, and that makes it like very difficult for people to pull themselves away. Like I would love to know. I'm sure they released it, but I would love to know the stats of how many people went renegade in Mass Effect, for example. It's probably like a tiny amount of people compared to like everyone going Paragon, for example, right? Because I don't know.
People just don't like being mean to people in video games for some reason.
Yeah, and it's not like we had bad writing, because we actually had like an author come in and do like the copy work on the game, because it's a visual novel, right? So it's like it's mostly text. It's 99% text, right? So it's literally just reading a novel. If this was a book, people would just be like, "Oh man, the guy was such a dick," but fantastic book, right? Like that's how it would. That's how the reviews would go. Not like, "Oh, fantastic art, but this I couldn't be a good guy, so I don't like it."
So, Dave, according to BioWare, 35.5% of playthroughs are Renegade, and that would include people that played Paragon and had a second playthrough of Renegade like me. Like I chose Paragon first. I played it once through as Renegade, but I played it like 5 times as Paragon.
Yeah,
that's a tiny number. Then, oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can easily max out both without tipping over. If you play correctly. Everyone looks at me like they're shocked. You can easily do this. I mean, in the first Mass Effect, it's actually best to do it because you have to have a high enough bad guy. Or sorry, is it Mass Effect 2? If you have a high enough bad guy status, the Gith planet where everything is all fucked up and it's just like burned out buildings, there's a dude there that's like, if you renegade him hard enough, he literally is just like, all right, fuck it. You can skip a whole quest line. I'll just do whatever you want. Kill me, I guess. I love being dead. So even if you go full Paragon, you want to have enough renegade points so that you can just execute that guy and get him out of the way.
You got to be renegade to save Kelly Chambers in Mass Effect 3.
But that's sort of not the point, though, Arthur. Like the point is, like most normal gamers tend to not do that stuff. As weird as that might sound. Like,
no, gamers, I know you. I know you're evil because you like characters like Sebastian Bassett and
we hate
Nero.
Sebastian Bassett.
You love Sebastian Bassett. People are always like, Sebastian Bassett, he's the best. And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, we love Sebastian Bassett. And I'm just like, what? Yes, I know. You just love to hate him. He's such a good bad guy. Yeah.
I've certainly found, like with my 2 recent new D&D groups, that people playing at my age want to play more morally ambiguous characters. Literally, my session this week had like an NPC say, as your reward for doing this, I'll give you this item or this item. And they chose the item. And then the moment the NPC was finished with them, they distracted the NPC and stole the second item as well.
Look, it's the Tom Hiddleston problem, right? You're introduced as the villain. You continue to be the villain the whole time. But then at some point, you're like, man, being a creeper and setting everything on fire in Minecraft just isn't fun anymore. What if we work collaboratively? But by then, everyone's like, you're Loki, can't trust you anymore, buddy. We're going to send you to a planet that's just filled with Lokis, and they'll all betray you. And you're like, come on, guys, let's just build one Minecraft house. And they're all like, no, I'm President Loki. I feel like this analogy really held up throughout. I feel like it did hold up.
Anyway, so that's the problem I've been having recently. So, but having said that, the author, the original designer of the game, he wasn't very happy with the representation of the protagonist in the first 2 chapters of the game. We've only released the first chapter. So we're going to do a rewrite where it's not so obvious that the main character is the bad guy. Or he's not like a dick, basically. So, because it's a visual novel, so we have projected dialogue, and then we also have internal monologue that the guy has.
How many dots?
The ellipses? Yeah. A lot.
That's how I know it's a visual novel.
I mean, there's no other way for English to represent a pregnant pause. You know, like there's. I mean, the ellipses get overused, but like
You could do
they have a reason for it.
noir detective style. It'd just be like, I stood there and stared at him for a time, considering my options.
No, we do that. That's how you riff in a visual novel. That's how you fill dead air. But like, still, when a character that you're not that you don't represent like wants to have a pregnant pause, you need ellipses, right? Like that's.
I could see the gears in his head were turning. He hadn't made a decision yet.
Her legs went on for miles.
You went to a different place than
of
me.
all the gin joints across the
All
world.
right, you're going a different place than me.
She had to walk into mine.
Now you guys are on the same page.
I did appreciate the noir style you had in one of the earlier Slayer's Nights this week. I think was it Glimo's one? You had the noir scene.
Wasn't it Cosmos? Because Big Tony
Cosmos,
Bertoli
yeah.
showed up.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Tony.
We had to have a conversation on the
Mention of a
roof.
smoking dame.
Yeah.
Is it weird that whenever I think of noir, I only think of two things: The Shadow, starring Alec Baldwin,
Yeah.
and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like they're the only two things that appear in my mind when I think of noir, and neither of them are really especially noir. So,
What about the Miles Morales Spider-Man animated one where
Into the
Nick
Spider-Verse.
Cage plays noir Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was perfect.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
What
think
color
of,
is that? I can't tell.
I don't think of modern stuff when I think of noir though. Like like The Shadow.
Yeah,
for me
you go
is like
far back
literally
as the
villain.
fucking Shadow. Holy shit. The Shadow's like, oh no, there's an atomic bomb. How will I defeat this?
What is it? He's like, he leans back and is
Only
like,
the Shadow knows.
you really don't want to be here right now. And the guy's like, I really don't want to be here right now. And it's like, you really want to go home and kiss your wife goodnight. It's like, I really want to go home and kiss my wife goodnight. I'm going to go now.
He uses his shadow hypnosis powers.
A great example of modern noir is definitely Max Payne, the original Max Payne.
Oh my
Okay.
god, Max
I'll
Payne.
accept that.
Holy
I'll accept
shit.
that.
There it was. The whole time, Vlad had been asking me permission to kill me. I hadn't realized.
Mona Sachs.
Mona Sachs.
Mona Sachs.
Max Payne 2, The Fall of Max Payne.
Yo, Max Payne 3 was legit good. Like, I think about that game a lot. Not for the noir, though. Like,
Look, Max Payne 2 was like 5 years too early. It happened before memeing because if Max Payne 2 had come out during the beginning of the meme era, we would never hear anything but when you're staring down the barrel of a gun, time slows down.
actually, finger up here. Memeing was invented before humans could write. But whatever,
I'm talking about
definition.
modern memeing, not mimetic learning.
I don't know about angels, but it's fear that gives men wings.
No, my favorite noir line is from Sin City, when Bruce Willis is beating up the yellow guy and he's like, I took away his weapons, both of them. And I was like,
I was waiting for somebody to bring up Sin City.
I've never seen it actually.
It's pretty good, man.
Elijah
I really
Wood
enjoyed
was
it.
real good in that one.
Oh, so creepy.
I thought it was a Bruce Willis
so
movie.
creepy. It has a lot of people in it.
It's vignettes. It's a series of vignettes that are tied together, and Bruce Willis is one of the vignettes.
So like
You
Pulp
should.
Fiction-y?
Yeah, kind of.
Sort of, yeah. So like,
It's a lot more gratuitous than Pulp Fiction, I think. Though Pulp Fiction's a little
Mickey
weird.
Rourke is one of the main ones, and then Clive Owen is one of the main ones.
Owen, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
He's Dwight.
Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a really long time.
And his story is actually really that's one of my favorite. Like Mickey Rourke's story and then the Clive Owen story are my two favorites.
Oh God, Clive Owen in Shoot 'Em Up. Oh my God, I need to watch that again. Actually,
All right, before I pass things off to James, I just want to say that there's someone going around intentionally revealing VTubers' real identities and I think that they might be killed in real life. Not the VTubers, the person doing this. There's a growing rage that is happening.
Okay.
That's all I got for you. Keep it real, VTuber fans.
But not
James,
too real.
No, keep it AP Gaming Real. Why would you say not too real? There's no such thing as too real when you're AP Gaming Real. Spoon, we need to get on the same table about this advertising, okay? All right, let's talk to the person most likely to star in a Master and Commander remake, Grimdark James.
Okay. So yeah, look, I didn't have much on this week. I got to admit, I did run my Rime of the Frost Maiden game, which
yeah, how did the rhyming go? You know, did they try to rhyme with orange or?
That went well. It's I think that group has not taken to Foundry as well as my Ghost of Strahd group has. There were a lot of sort of, you know, just especially with my wife, she just it's like, what do I click on again? How do I do that? So it was quite slow just having to explain the same thing every time. So, you know, we had fun. But I haven't actually gotten much other gaming done. I haven't been able to play any more Solasta. Haven't played any more Pathfinder. I had because as I mentioned to Spoon, you should look up your Twitter. I went to look at Twitter this week and I found that because I changed my CPU when my motherboard died, it means that all my cookies have so I've got to go relook everything, and I couldn't remember my Twitter password. So then I saw that like the reset password thing. I'm like, you know what? I can't actually be bothered. I don't care about Twitter enough to go and reset my password to get back into it. So I mean, I've got it on my phone still, so I can still see when things come through. But yeah, it's just I've disconnected to a degree from social media, except for Facebook. You know, obviously had the Facebook outage earlier in the week, which, you know, cut off the way I talk with most of my friends regularly. I had to come and talk to people in Arthur's Discord instead of talking to my my normal group of people socially.
That must have been rough for you, buddy.
No, it's good. Look, hey, I really enjoyed that video about the F-22 that Eric Vulgaris posted. Yeah, that was. I watched that whole thing actually. That was really good. As a person with, you know, a few hours of flight time myself, it was interesting to sort of see that take on it.
Did you see this new eVTOL? I immediately thought of you as soon as I saw it. It's from a company in Japan. So what they do is they ship you all the parts. You have to assemble it yourself. There's 36 rotors, and you need to have a pilot's license. It has 100 miles or 160 kilometers of flight time. Okay. But I was thinking, if there's one man on this call that could use it, it would be James. You have to hand assemble your own aircraft and then get it certified in your country from an aviation specialist from the government. Unless your country doesn't have that, like the Vatican, in which case I guess just do whatever you want.
Arthur, are you still down for Back for Blood in 2 days?
I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be like down, but I could play some Back for Blood. Like a couple of hours a week. Currently I'm trying to rush New World. On the offhand chance that Red ever gets his ass onto our fucking server so we can PvP together. Other than that, I New World, I literally hit the shittiest part of the game right now. Where instead of fighting enemies one-on-one, they're literally just like, alright, you fight 11 people at the same time. And they respawn faster than you can kill them. The nightmare. It's the worst part of the game. James, are you looking up this vehicle, or did somebody text you?
No, I'm looking up. So there's an aircraft which has been released that is actually something that I would consider buying. It's called the Icon A5. Okay. It retails for about $270,000 US. And
I wouldn't consider paying that much for an aircraft. Oh, no, let me put it this way. I would pay a lot more than that for an aircraft if I had that kind of money to save my life while flying it. But please, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a light seaplane, light aircraft seaplane. So it's designed for a war to take off and landing. So it does. You can't. I don't think you can runway land. It hasn't got gear. But apparently, in some places in the world, it's not. Okay, there you go. It doesn't even count as an aircraft in some places in the world for the purposes of like licensing.
Because you have to go above the deck. You have to go above like 100 feet.
Yeah. And so it's literally like, you know, they're marking it as, oh, you know, if you live on the coast and you commute down the coast to your work, you could just like, you know, fly this every day and avoid the traffic sort of thing. And yeah, I'm
$260,000. You can just buy a condo next to your fucking work building.
Yeah, I don't have that sort of money to throw at an aircraft, but and you can fold the wings into and put on a trailer as well. So it's almost like it's not that different from having like a yacht to go out on. You know, for a lot of people who own
something you can just throw all of your money into and rarely use. Yes,
exactly. So yeah, I only saw it recently, and it's won like a lot of sort of design awards. But yeah, I don't have that many hours in fixed wing that, you know, I'd probably feel that confident. But that's just, you know, it was I can dream, can't I, Arthur?
I don't disagree with that. When I was in college, so it must have been a decade ago, there was a company that was working on like a release ready hover bike. That neither counted as a motorcycle or an aircraft because it operated 12 feet off of the ground, so it could fly over most conventional cars, but not actually use the streets. And they couldn't figure out how to keep the thing balanced. It kept fucking rolling. And the use case for it was because it wasn't a vehicle, right? It didn't count as a car. It could not be used on city streets. So their use case was, if you live in New Jersey, you can use this to commute to New York across the water. That was their... Or if you like live in DC, their use cases were all, if you live on a coastline, you can use this to fly over a coastline. And all I could think of was, if literally anything happens from a rogue wave to just like one moment of inattention, if this thing goes in the water, how the fuck do you get it back out? It's like a fucking 1,000 pounds and it has to take off and land on the ground. Like, you go in the water and that's it. You have a 1,000-pound paperweight and the battery's dead.
I would rather use those water jetpacks. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
yeah, but you have to be attached to an incredibly powerful energy source to use those things.
But those water packs, like a lot of places, including Australia, there's no definition as to what they are, whether they're a vehicle or not. There's no licensing requirement for them. Yeah, they're considered a watercraft, but you don't need a boat license for it, for example. So
it's so dangerous.
Yeah, but so is the what are the parachute gliding things? I forget what those are called.
Paraglide suits.
Paraglides. But then you see them like flying fucking almost a kilometer above the fucking water because they caught a wave and they're like, well, I'm dead now.
That's like people that, you know, attach giant piles of balloons to garden chairs. You know, it flies, yet it's not considered a vehicle in any legal imagination.
What?
And it can still take you quite high. Have you not seen this? People attach like giant piles of helium balloons to like a folding garden chair and like fly up into the sky.
What the fuck? What? Listen. Helium is not easy to come by. We should not be fucking wasting it by shooting it into space, okay? Trying to take off a goddamn chair.
Obviously, we should be using it to make our voices sound really high.
No, that's stupid too.
I agree.
We fucking need it in hospitals.
Yeah, well, apparently, helium is a non-renewable resource, and we are. There's concerns that we're running low on it now. So.
Yeah, yes, that's what I'm saying. From an engineering standpoint, we need it for fucking hospitals. We don't need it to send garden chairs into the sky.
And just the process of extracting it wastes a certain amount as well, because, you know,
yes, because it's a gas and just flies everywhere. Yeah.
Do you think there's an apocalypse scenario that someone's written about, which is literally like, yep, humans use all the helium that we have available to us, and here's the end scenario for humanity based upon this?
Listen, here's the end scenario right now, Dave. We have blown through all of the easy to access metals and resources on this planet.
I like it. Keep going.
If anything happens, like the collapse of civilization, the inheritors of the next generations cannot make it again to space.
Road warriors.
Rebuilding the space program is impossible at this point. We have to maintain the momentum we have, because if our current infrastructure for that goes away, We literally cannot tap enough steel and iron and aluminum. Well, I mean, we can get the bauxite from Australia. Australia is basically just like 90% bauxite. The aluminum's the only easy part of a spaceship that we can make right now. All the other things we need.
We just talked about helium on a fucking deck chair, dude. That sounds alright. I gave you space.
So apparently, MRIs and LCDs are the two things that require helium.
Helium, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Listen, that's not even how fucking helium works. It won't get you into space. It'll just get you into some part of the atmosphere where the helium pressure equalizes out. Also, you'll be choking to death up there, but probably you'll have frozen to death. But
send a couple of guys up there with signs, okay? And when they're up there with the signs, aliens will clearly see it and just give us the tech that we need.
No.
Right?
We're so far away from where we should be.
Here's something that people know about cabin pressure loss, like at high altitude, is that if you lose cabin pressure, the first thing that happens is all the air in the cabin turns pretty much opaque because all the water separates, all the water vapor separates from the oxygen in the pressurized cabin, and you won't be able to see your hand in front of your face. So you'll be flailing around for that oxygen mask at 30,000 feet because bang, it'll like almost instantaneously the air goes almost opaque.
Unless you drink it all.
Some of the things that you know, James, I go, why does he know this? And
Yet women wonder why we spend so much time on the toilet. It's because we're educating ourselves, okay?
My mother used to tell me that I watch way too much air crash investigation for someone who flies around the world on business trips all the time.
I was going to say, that's not why I spend so much time on the toilet.
It's like
Lack of fiber.
It's like shooting yourself in the foot to get immunity to lower caliber guns, you know? Like,
exactly.
Why you look at crash investigations, you know? So you don't crash your plane anymore, right? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Metal fatigue. It's always metal fatigue. Almost always metal.
People make stupid decisions so that I don't have to, right? Like, that's what it's for.
Final question for you, James. Have you ever actually played the video game Metal Fatigue?
Sorry, wasn't it originally an arcade game, like a side-scrolling arcade game before it was?
I have no idea. I just remember it as a PC game. But yeah, it's a mech game, by the way, friends at home. It's a modular mech game that includes 3 areas of play, which are underground, atmospheric, and then on the ground. And they made a big deal about the mechs being the main part, but it turns out if you just send a bunch of fucking tanks down underground and then come out inside the enemy base, it's literally the winning strategy. Anyway, Metal Fatigue's
a great name.
The BattleTech
Great
approach.
How many tanks have you seen pop out of the ground? But I had it happen one time with the Scorpion Trap. That's it.
I'm looking at pictures of the game. It doesn't look like the
It's
game
old,
I was
man.
thinking of. I think I was thinking of something derived from Midnight Resistance. If you remember,
I've never heard of that.
No one remembers Midnight Resistance. Midnight Resistance was the first arcade game where, being a side scroller, but you had a spinning wheel to rotate the direction your character was shooting. So you could like shoot anywhere in like a 360 degree circle around your character's position on the screen.
By the way, did you guys see that image floating around that was like the difference between pixel art made for a CRT monitor and what it looks on an LCD monitor?
Oh, you're talking about the Final Fantasy VII images. Yeah. You can get CRT filters for most of your emulators.
Yeah, hang on. Let me post it in the group chat. Oh, the chat with Cass. Because honestly, it blew my fucking mind. Because that's exactly why video games look so much better in your mind than they do when you see them again, right? Like, look at the.
If you use an emulator, like let's say if your name was Schmondo the Schmad and you were playing something on a emulator like Schmalfen, you could get a C, except Schmalfen only plays, let's call it Wii games. You could get a CRT filter for it. But if you had a PlayStation emulator, like, I don't know, RetroArch, you could get a CRT filter on it very easily.
Can I quickly ask you, Arthur, what size is your main monitor on your PC?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Like size or
Let
resolution?
me run DXDAG. Is that going to give me that information?
Physical size, no.
Physical size. Yeah, it's like a 29 inch or something.
You don't keep it. You don't keep a tape measure right by your computer.
Jesus, James, what the fuck?
I've got no comment because I've done that too.
I'm literally looking to see if I have a tape measure here because that's something I would do too, but
That's not
it
something
doesn't
I
appear
would-
like I have one.
So
why are you calling me out specifically for that? Why would you call out one of these nerds?
Because whenever you sent me screenshots, you're obviously running 4K resolution.
Correct.
And I run 1920 by 1080 because I have a 28-inch screen, which I'm now looking to replace. And with my new video card, I can go to 4K, but there's a sense of wrongness about how it looks on this monitor. So I'm looking at replacing it with a 32. But I'm just wondering whether, given I sit like a foot and a half away from my monitor, whether 32 inches is too big.
No, I sit about
you can
I sit about a foot and a half, 2 feet away from my monitor.
Because I say with
I
television,
would warn you away from 4K though.
Okay.
I would say that what you want is 1440 at like 120 FPS or higher.
144 hertz. If you can swing it.
144.
But if you do content creation, 4K monitors are a fucking godsend. Like other than that, like there's no real reason to go that high for gaming. So unless you're like, really like one of those guys that's like, I got the best computer, therefore I need the bestest everything else. Right?
So
like,
I disagree with that right now because YouTube has limited the size of video you can upload a lot. It's now capped at 50 gigabytes, which means making a 4K 60 FPS video for some games now means you'll be able to do less than an hour.
wait. I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing. I said content creation, not
Correct. I don't know if you know
YouTube
about
videos?
content creation, but I'm creating content on YouTube via video.
Bitch, you don't
Right
edit
now,
your own
we're
fucking
in a
videos.
YouTube video right now. My God, the walls are closing it. No, sorry, I'm muted.
Right, yeah,
the walls are
that's
closing
right.
it. Oh no!
And in case you haven't yet,
No,
like and subscribe.
No, they've
and ring
set
that
us from
bell.
1080p to 720. No.
I've had Arthur literally complain about the fact that Twitch doesn't upload directly to YouTube in the way that he wants. And I'm just like, the fuck are you doing? Edit your own shit and then upload it. He's like, no, I refuse.
No, I locally record now, and I don't edit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Editing is for Pondo. I send him all my editable stuff.
Yeah, you could be making mad subscriber counts, but no. No.
All right, mark it, Arthur.
All right, fine. I will mark it, but not because you said
DJ,
that, but because it feels like the
spin
right
that
time.
shit.
Go ahead.
Previously on Rogue Trader Strings of Fate, with matters under control and Sephiroth Secundus, the crew looks to return to the Hand of Calixis. Along the way, something goes wrong with Queen Lacrima's shuttle. The crew investigate and discover that an assassin has struck and the Queen is dead. Nero makes a decision to leave the crew in order to safeguard his infant daughter and departs the Hand, intending to remain in his barony on Sephiroth Secundus. Word arrives that the warp storm is weakening, potentially providing a window for the ship to depart the system, though also carrying knowledge that the shadow and the warp has progressed through the expanse. Miriam suggests that the Hand take Dawn to the shrine of Saint Elena on Piety of Seth so that she can commune with the spirit of the saint and learn more about how she has changed. Thought for the day. The dead cannot cry out for revenge. It is the duty of the living to do so for them. So, I think last thing is, does anyone need to do anything else in Sephiroth Secundus system before setting off? Because we didn't actually decide to translate at the end of the session. So, nothing else required here, but Nero has already left. I'll put the clean version of the map up for you guys.
He's not here presently, but he's with us in our hearts.
I was going to say, I could do Nero's part. So I find all the people I think might be bad, and I send them each a basket full of oranges.
Oh God, please not another mafia storyline.
Valencia oranges?
Let's say yes. Okay. We just want those are the little small ones, right?
Yeah.
No, I
Very,
sent them
very popular.
grapefruits painted orange.
You
I want
monster.
them to get hit by a
Well,
softball.
grapefruits are orange.
No,
Well,
they're not
orange yellow.
orange.
It's like making.
There's nothing that I still need here.
Okay.
The only reason why I came here, main reason I came here was for Nero, and Nero decided to stay. So
All right. So before you do depart, Pierre, your Astra Telepathica choir master, this is Teleus Markov, wants to have a chat with you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go wherever he wants to have the chat.
Well, he'll come to see you. He'll turn up in your office. Lord Commodore, thank you for giving me your time. I had some questions for you. I heard that the Master of Ordnance has left the ship.
Yes.
Okay. He had me on a task with the choir to track this shadow in the warp in the Expanse. Does that still need to happen?
Yes, but you don't need to put 100% of your time into doing it.
Right.
We know roughly where it's at. If we could find, maybe trace around the areas that we know it's at, that should suffice enough.
All right. And who am I sending the information to when we find something? To yourself, Lord Commodore, or someone else looking after it for you?
Run it by me first, and then we can see then run it to Shrine.
Okay.
If he needs to know.
Second question, Nero's secret fate council. Is that still going ahead?
Wait, what?
honest,
Secret paid cancel?
I have no idea.
Everybody knew about it. I assume you knew about it as well.
I mean, I knew about it, but I have no idea where it's going to go at this point. I honestly cannot remember what he had people tasked to do what.
Okay. So he asked me to identify, because I know that you've always had your gnolls around you, but he asked me to identify somebody within my group that could replace who was your psyker that died previously that was following you around for a while?
Rosen, yes.
Rosen, yes.
He had a very unfortunate end.
Yeah. Nero had asked me to find somebody that he could take into this group. And so I looked at who we had in the choir and found one of my senior astropaths who would be a good fit and had the sort of knowledge required to make sense of those strange elements that Nero is asking about.
Okay.
Shall I send him to you, or did you want me to just take him back into the regular service of the choir?
Is he on the ship now?
Yes, he's part of our choir.
Okay. I suppose just send him in. As I'll try to see if Nero left notes on what he needed this person to do.
I don't think that Nero's been note taking. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Arthur.
I feel like I took all of my notes from Nero's point of view, but okay. I definitely have mentioned him writing something down several times.
That's true. Yeah,
he submitted forms all the time. James, listen, annoying paperwork was a large part of Nero's.
Okay, I accept that. I stand corrected.
Yeah, that one time he offloaded like thousands of forms of paperwork on Adrian. Adrian went, all right, somebody else do this.
I do agree with your comment in chat, Spoon, that now we're going to see all these people popping out of the woodwork of the ship saying, "Oh, Nero gave me this really menial task. Am I still doing that?" All right, I'll send him down.
Excellent. I got to sort through Nero's notes in his very peculiar way to explain things, what he needed.
I mean, Nero, I assume, left notes then, or?
I'm going to hope so.
Did you leave instructions for like the gunnery crews and the various people that would be picking up the slack?
Oh, James, instructions.
I believe the instructions are well ingrained into people there. He tended to put the fear of the Emperor in them.
It would not stop with instructions. There is a 2-part poster set. One is Nero looking intimidatingly disgusted towards the viewer, and the second is like the 5 rules of gun usage on this vessel, and the 2 posters go next to each other. And everyone's supposed to look at them every 30 minutes to remind themselves, do it right, or Nero will kill you in your sleep and no one will ever hear from you again.
That's right. You never know when I'll be back to check on you.
Yeah.
Little Timmy looks up at the poster and he's like, "But who will kill us now?"
We should make sure that the knowledge of Nero being gone is not common knowledge. Just
It kind of feels like James told everybody on the ship on my way out, but okay.
he probably did.
Nero tried to leave quietly and people just started showing up at his departure ceremony. The Codex Nero.
All right. So let's put Nero aside now. We don't need to hear of Nero any longer in this campaign. Instead,
I know you don't believe that, James. I know you don't believe that.
Subsequently, there is a knock at Pierre's door. Someone else is sent down to see him.
Okay, gotta come in.
And I'd like to know, Arthur, what this new individual looks like.
Let's go top to bottom. All right. We start with a deerstalker cap. We go down, kind of curly brown hair, brown mustache, brown beard, but also very obviously a white cloth.
No. Go back to the mustache.
Over their
You have
eyes.
to detail that.
Oh. I mean, detailing is what this mustache is. We're talking the curly tipped, silent film villain style mustache. Brown pea coat over a just like a brown schmuck, and loose baggy brown pants over pretty nice shoes. I mean, like, the shoes don't need to be the best, but it should be clear that they're well taken care of and like shined regularly. Not scuffed
Is
at all.
new character's name Gumshoe by any chance?
He also has a walking cane with an Aquila eagle on the top of it.
No,
I'd like to know how his blindness manifests. Like, is it like white milky eyes?
No,
Is
he
it
covers it
glasses?
with the headband so that
With the
people don't
headband,
have to look at his eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
so
evening.
no Cybernet guys.
Lord
Oh
Captain.
yes, are you the senior staff that's
Oh, please! I'm not a ship's officer at all. I'm what you would refer to as a psyker. Actually, I served as a choir member under your mother. My name is Andra Chiron, but if in the heat of the moment you wish to refer to me in a shorter terminology, perhaps one syllables, Kai will serve well.
are you the one astropath that survived the event or
Yes,
okay.
I'm just incredibly lucky, really.
I would imagine that was very
Oh, yes, everyone dying at the same time was very traumatic, very traumatic. If you don't mind me saying so, Captain, I can see something about you. I sense a greatness about you. Almost as if the presence of the God Emperor has his hands on his shoulders. You know, that was the last thing I saw before my eyes were taken from me. But I can sense a presence like that within you. Not as bombastic or expansive, but almost as if you have wings on your shoulders. And might I say, it serves you quite well.
Thank you. I was thinking that the seeing thing was a joke when it kind of was.
I apologize. For me, the immaterium is material.
Right,
I can see into it at will, using my mind's eye.
Of course.
So
Nero
he
left
stands
some
with both of his
instructions,
hands
I
on top
think.
of the cane and waits for you to say something. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well, Nero left some instructions that I'm trying to find.
I'm sorry?
There's
You mean the Master of Ordnance?
Yes.
I barely know him.
Yes.
Last time I saw him, he was an armsman, you know. He really seems to have up-jumped himself. Should have minded his position, really. I heard he's a noble now. How did that happen? You know, no class these days.
Extreme luck, it would seem.
Or it could be, and he taps the cane twice. And now he looks very serious. Fate.
Yes, fate. Well, there's an opportunity for you to kind of get on the highest form. There's a. Let me look at the notes. A meeting of fates, or the Fate Busters.
I don't know if you knew this, Lord Captain, but I actually am a specialist in determining fate.
Oh, okay.
I've made my entire life's work whenever I'm not sending messages solely about learning more about the future and fate, destiny, the course of people's lives.
Interesting. What was your name again?
Androchiron, sir. Androchiron.
Androchiron. Okay. Just going to write that down. Okay.
Please allow me to put it in chat for you.
That also works. I've probably been spelling it at the moment.
Oh, I thought that was 2 names. So you're like Madonna then? Okay.
Yes, I'm like Madonna.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, Andrew Kyron. I am sure we'll get to know each other a bit more now that you'll be on the staff of Fates. We'll go with that for now.
Absolutely. I would be honored to serve in your warband, Lord Captain. Might I have a small request?
Sure.
If you could keep those filthy rats away from me, I would greatly appreciate it.
All the people from the underdeck stay in the underdeck. What do you speak? Are you
I
talking about the
am
gnolls?
talking, of course, of the unspeakable presence that you have staffed on board. After a few months, I adjusted to the intense pain and apathy that they brought to me, but the loss of vision has been quite an issue. And it's not that I don't still feel excruciating pain, it's just that I've become better able to adjust to them. The heretical mutant pieces of trash.
I suppose that'd be fine, as long as you know not to discuss unless one of them are nearby.
Listen, chat literally guessed that I was about to do this moments before I started doing it. Of course, sir. If you could just make sure that none of them are, around me at any time, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, Lord Captain.
Very well. Is there anything else you would like to discuss, or?
I heard that you're a learned man. We don't have to do it on camera, but I know quite a bit about the warp, the occult. You could say that I'm excellent at sensing the presence of things around me. And, if you need me to send a message, I'm always available.
Thank you. I have not necessarily dabbled, but skimmed through some of the other things as far as learning. But perhaps we can have a discussion on it sometime.
Of course. Do you also have the talent that lets you... I don't remember what... infuse knowledge talent, sir? That lets you have every skill?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, I see. Well, I am a very learned scholar.
Very well.
You can roll any law skill, even if it doesn't have it, just as I'm
and
trained.
all of my skills are at +10 if I already do have them.
I think I need to look into getting that, maybe.
Yeah, infuse knowledge. It's dope. So dope.
It's like Adrian with piloting.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's actually useful. I mean, when have we ever needed piloting?
Wow.
Except like the 5 times we did. All right, Andrew Kyron is going to tap his walking stick twice on the deck and then turn to leave very sharply.
Okay.
I think we see Pierre just starting to yell at towards the figure in the corner. It's like, how do I get this?
So prep is made for the ship to translate to warp now. Riani is confident that she can navigate the warp now without Dawn's help, but she'll want to go via Scintilla before going straight to Paidu Seth, just because it's an easily navigable route. you can stop there even for moments before translating again, unless you wanted to. If you wanted to do any shopping for anything, doing it in Scintilla might be a good place to do it before you move on to Piety of Seth. You don't need to land. You can just send people to the service in your name to gather things for you. But did you have a list of anything you wanted to buy at this point in time? We can knock that over now, or we move straight on.
Your boy could use a suit of power armor of some kind. He's
He's
literally wearing civilian clothing. Never been in combat before in his life.
You flak out at you as a.
I started with basically nothing as a psyker.
It depends on if Cade took his suit of power armor. That was.
I think so.
That was a light set. I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And then we had like 5 sets of the lathe cast regular
Standard.
power armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customers, welcome to the senior crew. Put this on. Never take it off.
Yeah.
Do we have any more of the Stormtrooper carapace? Because that might actually be a bidder.
No.
No?
I mean, I've got a set that I'm not using.
Are you just not going to wear the Stormtrooper carapace anymore?
I don't
Man,
know
it's like
why
I got
would.
power armor. I don't need it anymore. I'm sitting here going 1 to 5 hour transit
issue
time.
with the
That's
regular
fucking
power
rough.
armor, it raises your size by 1, which makes you get easier to hit.
I also still have a suit of light power armor as well. That's basically the same as the carapace, but
Listen, if you don't want that carapace, I'll take it off your hands for you. I would love to have better armor
yeah.
than nothing.
Did I ever was able to get Adrian his power sword?
So
Yes, last time was successful.
wasn't
it? I thought it was last time.
No. The power sword failed last time.
Okay.
Because I have a new request, Lord Commodore.
What's your new request?
Instead of a power sword, I would like a pair of power fists.
All right, I like this. This is not bad. We've got Fisty McGavin, we've got Swordy McBordy, and I guess we got Blindy McBlindy now. Like it's good.
Are you wanting those best quality as well?
If they're available. If not, standard power fists. I know they're very rare, Captain.
Also, we get the added bonus of you not using a sacrilegious piece of technology for your everyday combat. So there's that.
Burning blade, yeah.
I just want to see Adrian walk in and Hulk smash together before. Yeah.
Don't worry, Dawn. I lit them on fire just for you.
But I'm just going to start punching air, and if any part of you fills that air.
Well, I'm just going to be swinging my power sword, and if any part of that air hits you, it's your own fault.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose if we're getting 2, might as well get
5. Yeah. They really should have thought about this before they put that in there. It's like
even if 2 was like a 25%, right?
Yeah.
I actually like it because you rarely want to just buy. So buying just one thing is really only useful when you're buying one really, really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a party, you're gonna want to get that thing for everyone in the party.
That's true.
Don't shit talk it. I like it.
I'm going to be a jerk though and say you need to specify how many left and how many right hands. You can get 5 and get 3 left and 2 right. I don't mind.
Wow.
Well, you can't just have backwards use it, no.
Yeah.
I want to
So
say
we requisitioned 30,000 left boots. What about the right boot? Well, you didn't say you wanted the right boot.
I would say, I don't know, 3 right, 2 left.
Okay. So very rare, which is minus 30. Oh, minus 20, very rare in Scintilla. Actually, no,
Wait, no.
It's a huge population.
Is it very rare because they're left-handed? Is that what you're saying?
This reminds me of the joke in Band of Brothers where he's looking for boots and he's like, "What size are you?" It's like size 9, just like everyone else in this army.
Pretty much, yes. Is it population 100,000 plus?
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, I'll double check. I think it's in the billions.
Well, I mean, it doesn't go past 100,000 plus.
Okay, no worries. Yep.
So it'd be the minus 10 for very rare, and then plus 20 for 5, but minus 30 for
Population
quality.
25 billion. Yeah.
So we're looking at plus 10, so about plus 20 or minus 20 at the moment. Wanting 5 plus whatever I failed to get out on the commerce test. Oh, 8.6
yeah.
plus 16, so it'd be minus 4,
Minus 4.
which we actually lost profit factor last time. So,
Yeah.
so we need a 39.
Still.
Nope, that's not
Remember
it.
that roll there.
Okay. Can we try again, or wait till later?
You can use another, but it's a separate commerce test though as well. But you can use another one of your attempts to try and get the same
That's
thing. That's
fine.
fine.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's gonna be,
minus 20 is going to be
16.
minus 16.
Yeah.
The controller's not working. Like, I tried to turn it on from downstairs.
Nope. All right.
Batteries ran backwards.
Okay, I'll give it one more shot and then give up. So minus 12. Nope. Okay.
This is not meant to be tonight, at least.
First, he went to the amateur boxing rings, nothing. And he went to the professional boxing rings, nothing. And he went to the underground boxing rings, nothing. Everyone was like, "You're crazy." Or that, you wanted 5, but they only sell them in groups of 6.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's like, "No, I only wanted 5." It's like, "Well, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. If I split up, if I split up the pair, no one else is gonna buy just the single one.
No one's gonna buy that third left gauntlet.
Just have to buy a child there. It's under control there now.
Yeah, we saw.
Is there anything else anybody wants?
Oh man.
I'm good.
Okay, I'll give it one more shot.
Okay.
This is the one. Here it is. Oh, one.
Okay, well that's 3. I'll spend a fate point to make it 4, so it's at least 8.
Okay, so
we
minus
need
12.
Minus 12. Ah!
There it is.
Yay.
There it is.
Wow. That's a
Ooh.
4 for the folks at home.
Yeah. Okay, so you'll be able to pick those up on the way back.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm just glad to finally get what Adrian wants.
I like the last door you knock on, like the 40K version of Mike Tyson. Is like, "How's it going?" He's like, "I hear you're in the market for some couple of boxing gloves there." And he was like,
So this is my experience last night. I was painting my Space Wolves last night, and I needed Basilicanum Grey, and I went to where I keep all my contrast paints, and I wasn't there. So I went and searched the area around where I keep all my paints in the garage. Couldn't find it. Double checked where my contrast paints were. Nope, not there. Came upstairs, checked my bag of spare paints. Couldn't find it anywhere. Went downstairs, checked the garage again. Couldn't find it. Went back to where I normally keep it. Oh, it was there. I just missed it twice.
I hate
So-
that.
"It's always
I hate
it's
when
always
that
in the
happens.
last place you look, man. It's
Which
always
is
in the
also the
last
first place I
you look."
looked.
Yeah.
But clearly on early onset dementia for me.
So you didn't ask your wife, because usually that helps.
Yeah. I unfortunately
She
I can't
always
claim,
finds it, man, and then it's your
I can't
problem.
claim geriatric millennial as well. I'm a Gen X millennial. Sorry, Gen X geriatric. Sorry. So
That's
All right.
what I do. If I can't find something, I ask Cotton to find it for me, and she's like, "That's right there, idiot." I'm like, yeah, you go, okay.
it's like with the kids. Pass me that. What? That thing right there. What thing?
And then when they need it, it's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah. All right. So you set off for Piety of Seth. Look, these warp journeys are a lot more pleasant than what you experienced recently in terms of reaching Sephira Secundus. It does still take you the best part of a bit over a week to get to Piety of Seth, but it's surprisingly smooth tide. When you arrive at the planet, it's just from space. It's one of those sort of dual planets where it's mostly water. It's like 80% water. With a few sort of almost like an archipelago style without major continents. There's sort of like large groups of island chains that make up the land masses. There's no other ships in orbit. There's no sort of facilities for major docking or anything. You just hang in space and send down flyers. It's not really a hub world as far as that goes. You do know that Party Set is considered to be a shrine world. It has two population centers, being Port Hadley and Port Calling. So Port Hadley is just pretty much just the longshore. So it's like where ships load and offload cargo, where you land. And Port Calling is the actual shrine city, where all the various temples and most people live. But apparently also Port Calling has a no-flyover policy. So any ships coming to the planet have to land at Port Hadley and then take some form of ground craft across to Port Calling. No questions? Okay. So presumably you all meet at the gun cutter to head to the surface, which is actually Dawn and Adrian's first chance to meet a new astropath.
So Andrew Chiron is going to turn towards Dawn and just be like, wow, absolutely fantastic. Have you lost some weight recently? No, wait, sorry. You have the soul of a living saint. Incredible. Incredible. It seems you are fated to do some enormous things. What a blessing from the God Emperor. What a blessing. Hello, other very normal person. I sense that you are entangled with a woman. I can read that about your fate.
Interesting.
James, how would ecclesiarchy normally treat astropaths? Just out of curiosity, because I know I've been very flippant
They're
about
mutants.
it. Yeah, that's sort of what I was wanting to ask about.
It's one of those really difficult things, because at the end of the day, they are psychers. So is the Emperor's a psyker too.
God Emperor sanctioned my powers, man.
Yeah, they're Emperor sanctioned psychers, and what's more, every astropath at some point in their life has seen the Emperor physically. That's part of how they are. That's why they're blind. He's so glorious, he burns out their eyes, basically. So yeah, it's one of those things where they are a very important. The Imperium could not function without them. Long distance communication relies upon them. So you may not like the fact that they are, a psyker, but they're not inherently heretics or unclean or anything. They are a fully accepted part of the Imperium and a necessary evil in that respect.
Mm-hmm. So Dawn will look at the new general. What was your name again?
Andrew
Chiron. Clear or something?
Andrew Chiron, my lady.
Andrew Chiron. Can you change it on your little avatar thingy there?
Oh, sure.
That'd be cool.
Sure.
Yeah.
Nero's gone and he'll never be back.
So Dawn will look at Andrew Chiron and say, astropath, I assume. Well.
Yep. I deliver the mail.
I would very much appreciate it if you didn't presume to see into my soul or whatever it is that you assume that you're doing.
I am afraid it is the only way I can see.
Well, you don't need to tell me about it.
It is an Empyrean
then.
vision.
We would get along a lot better if you didn't keep bringing up the fact that you're a mutant. I have nothing personally against your kind.
I understand.
Some
have
pills
no
are hard to
fear.
swallow.
I have accepted my place in society. If you feel that I have stepped outside it, a glorious individual like you is fully within their rights to punish a mutant like me.
I am in the middle of a journey myself, so
I can sense that
personally,
about you. I feel the way that the warp is moving around you. It shifts as one who is prepared to undertake a great trial.
Okay, this right here, this oracle nonsense, just not around me, please. That's all I ask.
I'm afraid that the oracle path is closed to me.
Have you ever found that by reading the future, you change it?
Yes. I try not to read into the future too much. It's not specifically my speciality. I'm better at reading fate and the shifting currents of the Empyrean.
And how are you at sitting on dropships quietly?
I am excellent at it.
Good.
You know, we once met someone like you, and she was very heretical, like incredibly heretical, like so heretical it actually hurt. But we couldn't touch her because of, business purposes. And I don't know, you just kind of giving me those vibes. Look, as I said, I'm in the middle of a journey. I'm trying to center myself, and you're just ripping that center away from me, man. Like,
And
a pleasure to meet you,
doesn't
though.
say anything.
it's a pleasure to meet you, though. Watch your head. There is a thing there, so you have to duck a little bit when you come onto the gun cutter. So.
Listen, Andrew Kyron is a man who can understand subtext. He got the message from Adrian.
Okay, so it's a very frosty ride down to Port Hadley.
So it may be frosty for everybody else, but Andrew Kyron is just sitting there smiling. Maybe he's even humming to himself a little bit because he's surrounded by people who have really sick auras, and he's just like, man, this is so great. Everyone around here looks fantastic. On second thought, that the pilot, there is a little something to his soul. But he doesn't say anything. He's just so happy to be here.
Ah, the green aura of sass. I see it now. No.
Please continue, James. Don't let me interrupt.
All right. All right. As you come towards Port Hadley, so Port Hadley itself is effectively it's actually over the ocean, and so it's platforms up on stanchions out of the water, so you can sort of see the water crashing against these massive pillars below, and it's like a giant ring city with landing bays around the outside, or these big platforms that you can land larger ships on. So you're allocated one of those. You can see there's a central building which is some sort of air traffic control sort of thing, and a secondary building which has a giant symbol of a pair of scales with a fist holding them, which is a symbol of the arbitrates alongside that. But it looks like, insofar as the only people that probably live here are the people required to maintain all the systems that function on this port. Otherwise, there's a smaller hub part that comes off the edge where there is transportation services across to the main shrine town. So once you get off the gun cutter on the platform, the whole, that sort of sea smell you get when you live at a coastal town. It's fresh. It's actually quite pleasant. The temperature here is a little on the warmer side, but still quite livable. But the humidity is high, so if you don't like humidity, it's probably not quite so pleasant. The other distinguishing feature about this place is that pretty much anytime there's a light pole or any sort of other stable surface, they have these loud hails or megaphones that are playing quotes that appear to be they've just taken somebody's helmet audio from when they've been giving orders or talking to people. That's just everything's been recorded and they're just being played back. So it'll be things over there, get down and get into cover and return fire. And then the next thing will be just give me those reports by tomorrow. But it's always the same voice in all these sort of, it's like they've got probably 30 or 40 sound grabs of this person's voice just get played out continually over these loud hailers as you walk around the port.
Makes sense.
How frequent are they?
Well, it's going constantly. So okay. Where each one plays, there'll be maybe a couple of second break and the next one will play. But yeah, no, even when it's shouted orders, nobody responds to them. It's just there's obviously some reverence paid to this person's voice. And yeah, without much word, people just come and start servicing the gun cutter, refueling it. If you need transport to Port Calling, just head over to the hub and we'll get you something sorted out.
Are those recordings, are those
they're the voice of Seth.
Judge, yes. Judge Seth.
Yes. Yes. Most of the original recordings were lost, but we have the 38 words of Seth that everyone on this planet knows well.
Very good.
And presumably you take transport across to Port Calling. Port Calling is it's one of the larger land masses. And think of it, have you ever seen like Mediterranean tiered cities where they've obviously they built like the castle in the highest point, and then as the city's grown, it's sort of grown down the side of the mountain towards the water's edge. So you've sort of got like the poorer districts are down near the water, and you go to like commercial districts above that, and then on the plateau at the top are all the temples and administration buildings and such. And lots of statues. Like you've been on Triwells before, you know what to expect. This is a very pleasant, warm, humid, Mediterranean-style world with lots of temples and people going about their business, either in prayer or stopping to hear the word of Seth. You're free to move about the city as you choose.
Okay, so maybe I'll turn to the Lord Captain and I'll say, I would like to. I'm not entirely sure what I need to expect here, but I would like to get this done as soon as possible.
Very well.
Though, if you want to conduct business, I know we have had a number of personal conversations lately, as you wanted, and you are a businessman, and business is a thing that you need to do. I won't get in your way, though. So, what is the order of your orders?
You just do what you need to do. Business can come later.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go do the thing. Thank you for your blessing.
The Miriam's instruction to you, Pierre, was that this is a shrine world to a person that was sainted posthumously, but it also has a shrine to an actual living saint who she perpetrated her campaigns elsewhere in the Imperium, but according to Miriam, her bones were secretly moved here. So therefore, there is like her actual tomb is somewhere in the shrine, and therefore, if you know the idea that Thorne could commune with the mortal remains of Saint Helena. Now, Saint Helena, or as she's called in the Greek, Saint Helena, there is a temple of Saint Helena, which is actually like a hospital, but also double. It's like a shrine hospital, basically, like a religious hospice and care facility.
Okay. But I need to go commune with her remains, right? So
that was Miriam's suggestion.
Okay, so I'm gonna maybe try and find someone who might be able to guide me there.
Okay, I mean, it's you can spot the building. It's like the temple buildings are clearly obvious even from the base of the mountain. So, all you have to do is ask which one of those is the shrine of Saint Helena, and they'll point you up that way.
Okay.
Are you the rest of you going with Dawn for now, or are you?
I think that's Adrian would ask. Sister Dawn, is this something you wish to do alone, or may we accompany you?
I think it would be best if I continue alone at this point.
Very well.
Only because I'm a little hesitant to bare myself before you all, if it comes to that. So Dawn's just going to be like, well, I'm going to do the thing. So
good luck, Sister Dawn. There's a good wind of fate around you.
Good wind, yes.
Yeah.
It's just nothing he can say is going to come out right.
All right,
I'll use it beneath my feet, I guess.
Yeah. After Dawn leaves, Pierre, you get a comm from the ship. Lord Commodore, we've someone on the ship. We've been contacted by, I think, the planetary governor or the cardinal, maybe both. Shall I put him through?
was trying to ignore him as best I could, but might as well put him through.
Okay. So an older man's voice comes onto the comm. Lord Commodore Cowles, is it?
Yes.
I should introduce myself. I am Cardinal Praetus Catullus Allaby. I am the governor and spiritual leader of this world. I wish I knew that you were coming. I would have arranged some sort of welcome. Are you already on planet?
Yes, I am. I'm mostly just sightseeing at the moment.
Oh, well, should we not meet a person of your austerity? Certainly, it would be appropriate, would it not, for me at least to dine you and your senior crew in the Seth Temple?
That seems fair enough. Give us about, I don't know, an hour to get prepared, and we'll be right over.
Oh, shall I send a conveyance for you?
Sure.
Well, I will see to that. I look forward to meeting you, Lord Commodore.
And I to you.
All right. He hangs up.
I get back to the Master of Vox, like, can you get a gift basket prepared for us?
Send down some Rinka.
Sir Nero used to do that. He didn't leave an instruction sheet. We don't know how to prepare a basket.
We don't have the STC for that.
We looked at the instructions to put a gift basket. It just said, "Don't get it wrong, or I'll shoot you." That's all it says.
No, I like the idea that everything that Nero used to do is like the guy who had the understanding of the Excel spreadsheet, who left, and then everybody else was like, "How the fuck does this work?"
Oh, that is my fucking corporate life.
I want to imagine that Nero did that.
Just don't get it. Just throw in a couple of bottles of the Ranka, a couple of t-shirts. I think there's like bobbleheads or something. God, just
there's the new I Heart the Lord Commodore mugs.
I thought those got recalled due to lead poisoning.
Oh, perhaps. I don't know. I wasn't up to date on our merchandising.
Here, we painted the mugs with the lead paint.
Shall I stay here with the shuttle, Lord Captain?
No, you can join us. Dawn will be doing her
solid
thing.
food. I will enjoy it. They mostly just keep us on whatever they can pipe in the astropathic choir.
All essential vitamins and minerals in one easy to consume paste.
Okay, Cypher, calm down.
Enjoy.
Everything a growing body needs.
I mean, the thing is, he's not wrong.
My brain is telling me this paste is juicy, delicious.
All right, Dawn, you follow instructions to head up to the side of the mountain, and you reach the entrance to this shrine hospital. There are a couple of battle sisters standing guard out the front. They wear red power armor that you recognize as the armor of the Order of the Bloody Rose, who you have encountered previously in the sector as well. They were the order that were on that weird planet where they were guarding the orb. Mm-hmm. But give me a Common Law Imperial Creed roll, please, at +0.
Sure. Common Law.
You don't have war, do you, by the way? Imperial Law. You don't have Common Law war.
No, I just have Imperial Creed.
Imperial Creed's fine.
Sorry, what'd you say the bonus was?
+0.
+0, okay. 5.5.
Wow, huge. Okay. So you do notice that, the most common pattern of bolter that Sisters of Battle use is a pattern called the Goblin Diaz pattern, but they're not really readily available in this sector. So the Sisters of Battle that operate in this sector use the Secrista pattern bolters, but these two women both have Goblin Diaz pattern bolters. So they're not from the preceptory from this sector. They probably were raised, educated in another sector and sent here because their war gear is different from the other sisters.
I see.
You do notice as well that the symbols above, like the aquila and the symbols of the ecclesiarchy above the entranceway to the shrine, indicate it is a home of the Order Famulus, the Order Hospitaller, and the Order Dialogus. So all of the militant orders of the Sisters of Battle of the Adeptus Sororitas have some sort of position in this temple.
Okay.
One of the two guards like spots your armor and symbols pretty quickly and says, "Sister, welcome to the Shrine of Saint Helena."
Thank you. I have been asked to come in here and commune with her remains. Is that a possibility?
So they sort of give each other a knowing NPC look that like implies that's not common knowledge, but it's not like you're in trouble for knowing it. It's more sort of like, oh, okay, shit, this is obviously something serious because no one should know that or only special people should know that the actual remains are here. We should ask the Palatines to meet with you. Please come in. One of them sort of steps away from a guard. I'll lead you in, and we'll summon the Palatines.
Excellent.
Right.
Lead on.
So you're taken to a waiting room. I mean, this is like any other church/hospital you've been in. I mean, you're technically from a hospital or order, so you recognise the sort of things going on here. This is all quite typical. Okay. In fact, there's probably a scene where like you stop in a hallway and like tend to somebody that was waiting for a service and clearly do that little bit of medicine that was required to save their life. Because no one had yet spotted the how dire their circumstances were until they reached out for you for your blessing on the way past. But eventually, you're deposited into a waiting room. And shortly after, 3 women arrive, all of which appear to be from different orders. So one is clearly a Dialogus based upon her robes, one is clearly a Hospitaller, and one is clearly a Famulus. The eldest among them is the Hospitaller. She is like the best way I can put it would be like Dame Judi Dench as a nun/doctor, whereas the other two are both a little bit younger, although still probably like what I would say would be middle age. And they introduce themselves. So one of them is Palatine Lacasne, which is the head of the Dialogus. One is Palatine Alexandra, which is head of the Famulus, and the leader appears to be Palatine Malgazeta, who is the head of the
Malgazeta.
Malgazada.
Malgazada. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I introduced myself as Sister Dawn Leteinia of the Cleansing Flame. I operate on the Hand of the Calixis. Wait, did I say that right?
You're a long way from Iacanthos.
Yes, well, under the employ of Lord Captain Pierre Cowles, we travel to many sectors,
Sister
often
Maeve,
in search of lots of interesting things that I don't quite understand.
Sister Maeve tells us that you're aware of our sacred duty here and that you wish to see the tomb of Saint Helena.
Yes. Recently, I've had somewhat of an epiphany from the God Emperor, and I wish to confirm it. So,
the two younger sisters sort of make like the sign of the equivalent. The same way someone might cross themselves to say, "Oh, yeah, this is truly a religious moment." This is great news. We're proud to be a part of this. Whereas the older Hospitallers are a little bit more sort of, "Oh, can you tell us any more about this epiphany you've experienced, sister?"
Yeah. So I'll go into detail explaining the I wouldn't really call it a vision, but more of how Dawn was a instrument for guiding the Hand of Calixis through the warp in order to achieve the goal for the Lord Captain, and that I was simply a vessel for the God Emperor's determination, I guess would be the way that I would place it. Not so much a vision, but more of like an instrument, I guess.
All right. Give me a charm roll at +10.
Charm roll. Oh boy. I think it's the first time I've ever rolled this. 3.9.
Okay. So Malgazada listens along, and she's nodding, and a couple of times, like she actually like tuts, or tisks, like, oh, it doesn't sound good. Although you're not sure whether she's like critical of you or the situation. But once you finish your story, she nods again. Very well. It seems you have a path to follow. You may find nothing, you may find something, but I will not deny you access to the saints' bones. Please come with me.
Okay, I'll follow her.
She leads you through the hospital and eventually like out the back into like they've got some cultured gardens that are sort of like for therapy. People just go and sit in the gardens and there's shade and gazebos and running water and fountains and such. But she leads you all the way through the gardens to sort of like the back where the plateau sort of drops off, and then down some hewn steps till eventually you come to a cave entrance where another Sister of the Bloody Rose stands guard. Only
Has
those,
she also got like the same bolter, or is it like
the Gomendias pattern? That's it. Only those who seek to commune with the saints' bones can go past this point. Head down the passageway. You will find Saint Helena's tomb in the second chamber. We will wait here for you. I hope that you find the truth you're looking for.
I just sort of give a Gwent nod and walk down.
All right. So the last shot of the camera, definitely as we go to the break, is Thorne disappearing into this dark cave towards what end we don't yet know. And we'll come back to that after the break.
Dawn begins walking towards herself, but she's wearing a black metal armor suit.
And she shouldn't have brought her weapons.
Yeah.
It's actually Kermit the Frog on the inside, and he's got like a hood on. Yeah.
The Kermit the Frog Emperor from Star Wars, if you haven't seen the scenes where they replace the Emperor with Kermit the Frog, it's fucking funny, where he's like, do it! All right. Are we ready for a break, James? Is that what you're telling me?
That's what I'm telling you.
All right, fine. We'll be back for the second half shortly. And by shortly, I probably mean like 10 minutes or whenever James is done eating a sandwich.
Two sandwiches.
Dave has come back. All right, yeah, eat as many sandwiches as you want. I'm not here to stop you.